Right, so like 7 months after its release, but I finally saw Terminator Genisys, as they want to spell it. But we're going to call it Genesis because that's the way they say it in the movie for some reason. And I actually, surprisingly, enjoyed the movie. It was a very solid movie. It's fun, over the top action, which I'll just get this out of the way now. It can be disappointing for fans of the original two Terminators because those are more, I don't want to say believable, it's about time travel, but it's more hard action movies. And these are the best. This is the best Terminator movie since the second one, which isn't saying that much. Even though I like 3 and 4, I could just sleep rather than that because that movie puts you to sleep. But this is much more of an action movie in the vein, more like a Fast and the Furious of the Terminator 2. But that's only for hardcore Terminator fans. I'm a fan of the first 2 movies, and I was able to buy onto this new tone. If you're able to enjoy a new tone, you enjoy the movie. So for all the stuff that is good about the movie, the cast is actually surprisingly strong. I say surprisingly because I'm normally not the biggest fan of Jai Courtney. And if Jai Courtney had gave the performance he gave in this movie and Try Hard, then that movie might not have sucked completely, and we wouldn't have had to do a prequel about young John McClane. Why are you doing this, Die Hard? Come on, Hollywood. Just why? Why are you trying to ruin Die Hard? But he actually gives a really solid performance. He was really likable, which is surprising. Again, if you've seen him in movies like Try Hard or like the Divergent movies. I've only seen the first one, being that one. He's just kind of, just walk around, not really caring. But he was the best part of this movie, which is a movie I enjoy, is a good thing. Arnold Schwarzenegger comes back. He does a great job as this aging Terminator, and I like the way they kind of explain the way this works and the way all the time travel and science is working in this movie. I can buy into. So there was a couple scenes where it was a bit jargony trying to explain it. It's like, I'm just gonna buy it anyways. You don't need to try to get some weird science explanation. I thought he was really fun. Obviously, the Terminator role isn't one that you have to be the greatest kind of actor to do, but he pulls off that role really well, much like Sylvester Stallone does Rocky really well. I mean, not as great everything else, but he can do that character. Arnold can do this character. And while watching this, I also thought if they ever need to get a new Terminator character like his Terminator, Dave Bautista would work. Just throwing that out there, my thoughts. Emily Clark, I thought, was strong with what she was given. I liked her take on Sarah Connor for the most part, but looking back at it, it's kind of weird that they took this character who is strong and independent, like in the second movie, and they tried to make her that same type of character, but then they also have this idea where they can't really come up with her own plan, and she's always looking to other people to make a plan, so it kind of weakens her character a little bit. And then they have that forced romance, which obviously they have to get together to make John Connor, but at times it felt forced, but by the end of it I believed it just because I felt their chemistry worked. And even Jason Clarke I bought as the John Connor robot character. Yeah, there's a twist in there which really doesn't make sense. I didn't like the whole, hey, John Connor's the bad guy just because, but I really like the design and the way they use the new Terminator. I think it's a T-3000, that's what they're calling the kind of Terminator that his character was. I really liked that aspect, and I think he was much cooler than a T-1000. I'll get into that in a minute. But once you get over the fact that this is what that character was, I think he did a good job playing that part, and he did a good job playing like the hero role. There were some actors that were kind of, I don't want to say miscast, but just wasted. Like J.K. Simmons' character was just kind of in between this role as a detective and as a scientist. It's like they couldn't decide what they wanted his role to be, so they kind of just made him both, so his character didn't make sense. Not necessarily that he was bad, but don't get J.K. Simmons to play a character you're not even sure what to do with. And then Matt Smith was also in it, and I still don't really know what his character was or why he was there, but it's whatever. Like I said, the plot itself is overall, I want to say good. I like the way that they have to, things are changing and they have to take down Skynet. It's basically the plot of T2 again. But at the beginning of the movie, it feels like, oh, we're just going to kind of do the greatest hits of T2. And this scene is the one in the beginning is where the CG just felt a little weak to me. The opening scene in the future, strong. It makes me want to see a movie in there, but then I remember Terminator Salvation happened. I'm like, never mind, let's not see a future Terminator movie. And then they do he comes to the past and they're redoing the first and second movie, and I just didn't like the way they were using the T-1000 again. It's like, oh, this is what this movie's going to be. But then they got past that, and then when they introduced that John Connor point, which they really shouldn't have spoiled in the trailer because may have left us some mystery, you enjoy that, and I like the way that plot carries forward, and that's also where the over-the-topness begins to start, because there's a bus that flips over like 6 times. It's very Fast and Furious-y to me, but hey, I bought into it, and I enjoyed it. The CGI, like I said, in the beginning, there was the scene with the T-800 skeleton, which that was the only scene where it felt weak to me, but besides that, really strong, especially, like I said, the new Terminator. And yeah, I just enjoyed this movie. Is this a great movie? No, definitely not. Is it a funny movie at times? Is it a good movie? Maybe I would say it's good. But overall, I enjoyed it. And if someone were to ask me, hey, should I watch this? I'd probably say, yeah, it's worth a watch. Which is definitely worth saying. When before this, I would have never wanted to watch it, but then I just want to sit down and enjoying it. Obviously, my expectations were low, so that could have added to it a little bit, but I enjoyed it. I'd defend this movie. It's solid C movie, right about there, maybe C plus, which isn't a bad thing. That's very solid nowadays. It's not something like Transformers 4, which you just shouldn't watch. It's a fun action movie, which if you can bind to the tone, you'll have a good 2 hours with, I think it was about. And then there's a scene after the credits, which I don't even know what that was about. It was kind of just a waste. So, not going to talk about that. But let me know if you saw Terminator Genisys down below, and if you liked it or not. I did. Let me know what you thought. Please like, share, and subscribe. As always, thank you guys for watching.